Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, on this evening edition of Fire of Liberty. Doing a very special edition for this Renaissanistic creation of Golden Age acceleration and advancement, and continuing to unite, connect, accelerate, and rejuvenate every form, facet of every form of creation, love, manifestation, heaven, essence, the very skills, artistical, knowledgeable, and mental mind, the powers of the mind, which are found in many different types of creative, clever powers, mind powers, clairvoyance, heaven essence, clairessence, clairsentience, and communicating even stronger, ever stronger with more advanced beings, more advanced minds, more advanced ways, and at the same time be able to, of course, accelerate and move on to that next super advanced level. For example, already well past a Type 170 civilization A, which is the ability to harness or put out the power output of 10 to the power of 1,706 watts. Quite a lot of power, and quite a lot of energy. And so we shall continue to reiterate our unique understanding for text. This is text 15. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O Supreme Person, Lord of the universe! Exclamation point. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service like Arjuna and his successors. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to commit on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. The Supreme Truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So at the last stage of understanding of the Absolute Truth, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A liberated man, and even a common man, may realize impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, yet they may not understand God's personality from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna and Bhagavan, or they accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna or Purushotama, the Supreme Person, the Father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushotama, and if one comes to know him as the Father of all living entities, still one may not know him as the Supreme Controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesa, the Supreme Controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the Supreme Controller of all entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Deva, the worshipful God of all demigods. and even one knows him as the worshipful God of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. Text 16. Please tell me in detail of your divine powers by which you pervade all the worlds and abide in them. All these worlds and abide in them. In this verse it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Lord Krishna by Krishna's grace. Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have through all these agencies, and he has understood Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature so that in the future people will understand, especially the impersonalists, how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. How should I meditate on you? And what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is discovered by his Yoga Maya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general process by which the all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. No common man, including the demons and atheists, can know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yoga Maya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is not only concerned for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind out of his mercy, because he is Vasnava, a devotee. Arjuna is opening the understanding for the common man as far as the all-pervasiveness of the Supreme is concerned. He addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin because Sri Krishna is the master of Yoga Maya energy by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic persons of this world. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representation. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by the cease of Nambisaranya, headed by Sanaka. The statement is, quote, one can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by Vedic hymns. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish in every step descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord, end quote. Thus, Arjuna is interested to hear about Krishna, specifically about how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now as far as 10, nectar is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar, and this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are all different from transcendental pastimes of the Lord, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of the incarnations of Godhead. For instance, the Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate to the past times of the various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. The Blessed Lord said, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulence. The senses of the individual soul are imperfect and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to them as nectar. Thus, they enjoy them in discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies. The pure devotees take transcendental pleasure, therefore they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyata, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all. And vibhuti are used in this verse refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amarakosi dictionary, it is stated that vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulence of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energy, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. His energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man, thus part of his variegated energy is described in this way. Evening edition of Fire Love You. Love you all.